Okay, so now you've had a chance to talk about what you've just seen. So let's rewind and take a closer look at it scene by scene.
To see exactly what mistakes were made and who did the wrong thing. I remember doing this, walking and texting at the same time.
I mean, look, she's so engrossed in her text, she stepped right in front of the road without even looking. She could have been killed.
It's actually only since I started driving that I realised how many teenagers do this. I mean, that could have been the last text she ever read.
And what about all those people with their headphones? Never mind not being able to see what's coming, they haven't the hope of hearing any cars approaching.
If you take your eyes off the road for just a second, or you can't hear traffic, it could change your life forever.
And what about these two? Can you believe they just walked out in front of two parked cars?
I know they should have found a safe place to cross, not in between those two cars. They also should have been looking and listening, not talking.
The driver actually had to swerve to avoid them. I mean, you can see how worried he looks.
It's not just up to drivers to look out for pedestrians. They also need to be aware, and they also need to make sure drivers can see them.
Exactly. Just because someone's driving, it doesn't mean they can see you. Now this woman is doing nothing wrong. She's clearly crossing at a pedestrian crossing and the green man started flashing.
But look how impatient that driver is. He's revving his engine at her.
Why is he doing that? Can he not see that she's clearly got the right to finish crossing?
He must be one of those drivers that just thinks he owns the road. I mean, that woman has just as much right to use it as he does.
It's so important to respect everyone's journey.
These girls are about to cross the road, thinking it's safe.
Yeah, but that dip in the road means that the car was actually hidden for a second. So they might have thought nothing was coming.
Look how quickly that car appeared.
What do you think those girls should do differently the next time they cross at that location?
Do you see this lady reversing into a side road? She's not reversing carefully enough or looking all around.
She only saw that elderly lady in the nick of time.
Do you think it's because she's so high up in the car? Or was she just not looking properly?
Well, that's the thing. Whenever you're in a car especially, it's not just about what's in front of you or behind you. You need to look all around you.
Imagine that was your granny. Okay, we've seen who was doing the wrong thing in the first ad.
Now let's take a look at the second ad and do the same thing again.
We'll be back in a minute to see if you're right.
Just because you're in a rush doesn't mean you can ignore the crossing.
Just because I'm in trainers doesn't mean you can run me down.
Just because you're driving doesn't take away my right of way.
1 in every 5 road deaths is a pedestrian. Just because you use the road doesn't mean you own it. Respect everyone's journey from DOE.